I had one job to do. I had to unmute that mic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope y'all are having a wonderful night. I know that there are people that are off at Pinecone Fest, and I am so excited. I hope y'all are having a blast this weekend. My goodness, my goodness. I am so grateful to each and every single one of you that are here and the ones that will be watching on the replay. So first I want to see who's all in the chat. And first up, I see, the very first person at 2:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time was Joe Fix It For You. Hey, Joe, thank you for being here. And then hitting the thumbs up on the way in. Thank you so much. And then there's my favorite crazy chicken brother. It's Xander from Dark Lord Minute. He slides in and says, hi. I'm so glad you're here, Xander, and you were here at 4:19. My goodness. And then we have Troy Sutton. Hey, it's so good to see you. And then, oh my goodness, the beautiful Miss Teresa Jukowitz. Oh, I just wish I could give you a big old hug right now. Oh my goodness, I'm just still so honored and so blessed to have met you at the Kentucky meetup. And man, girl, I'm just so glad you're here. And then Dark Lord Minute, Xander says, hey, Troy, hey, Teresa. And then hello to Sir Grace. He is watching downstairs. So that is for you too, Sir Grace. Hopefully you can read that. There you are. And then joyfully, Janae. Hey, girl, I'm so glad you are here. Thank you. And yes, thank you very, very much. And then, yes, saying hi to Joe Fix It For You. Xander, hi. I think he's just spreading the love. I think he just slides right on in and he just, hi. Oh my goodness. I love the excitement. And he said, hello to Janae. And then everybody is saying hi to everybody. I am just so glad. I hope you guys have gotten a little cup of coffee or something, your favorite beverage. It's just a lazy Saturday night chat. I hope, you've had something fun to do today. Sir Grace and I, we went out and we went to the gym, and I like to say we slayed that gym. I've been on a little bit of a health journey, and it is coming along. And one of the things is that I have a trainer because I've had a lot of medical things that I've dealt with in the past couple of years. So I hired a trainer, and we are weight training, not any kind of big competition or anything, not any of that, but more or less so that way I keep building strength as I go forward in life. And some of those exercises, I have to be honest with you, I hate. And I'll tell you one of my ones right now that I just absolutely hate, but I know how important it is. And it's the step ups. And so you have a little step, and I have to carry a 40-pound kettlebell as I'm going up and down off that thing. And let me tell you, that is so boring. My favorite thing right now is the leg press, and I'm up to 350 pounds. And that's a lot. So I'm pretty strong on my lower half. My upper half, which is some of the medical that I've dealt with, it's going to take some time. I'm okay. I'm as low as 5-pound kettlebells, just lifting them up over my head, just in the right position. So when I say I'm not doing it for looks or anything, it's just for strength, and not everything is heavy. But man, I'll just be honest with you. There are just some days that I just kind of go, but it's so important. And I am seeing results. I weighed in last week, and I have lost a significant amount of visceral fat. So, doing this health journey, it's paying off. It's taking time, but it's getting there. So Xander says, I try. I have no energy. Well, I think you just did. You said hi to everybody. That counts. That absolutely counts. And then, oh, Carlene, hey, I'm so glad you're here. And then, oh my goodness, the beautiful Aunt Lynn. Let me tell y'all, Aunt Lynn is really my aunt. She's my mom's sister. They have a fun show called the Official Aunt Lynn Show. And Lynn is the girl you want to hang out with if you want to find a good bargain. Just saying. That woman calls me all the time and tells me about her crazy finds, and she'll say, how much do you think I paid? And then I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, she'll tell me some ridiculous amount. Like sometimes it's like 25 cents. And you think, my word, you found a deal. So yeah. Oh, thank you so much. It's, it's going to take me some time. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing it. I've been up and down body fat wise and exercise wise and lazy wise. I ain't gonna lie about it. So it's going to be a lifelong thing, just because I feel like I've learned my lesson. It's so good for so many things. So yeah. Wow. I know. Right. Yeah. Kind of, some of it's heavy. Oh, you know what? I have built up, I never thought I could do. Sometimes my trainer will get up on there and added weight, and we'll just do like one set, and I can do one set with his added weight to it, for the leg press is what I'm referring to. So it'll be my normal weights plus him. And yeah, it's, I'm a little bit tough there, but when I say I'm also doing 5-pound kettlebells, I'm not kettlebells, but dumbbells. Yeah, I do 5 pounds as well. I'm not as big as it might sound, just my lower half is very strong. So I guess maybe I got some kicking power, kapow, saying hi to Aunt Lynn. Yay. Oh, and Joe is back. Hey, Joe, you were the first one in today. Thank you. Oh, Tiffany, you're here. Hey, girl. Thank you for being here. Let me tell you something. I still love your hauls that you get, your food hauls, and then you share what you're going to do with them. You are so inspirational, and so like some of those recipes you think outside of the box, and I'm like, man, you're such a smart lady. So if you've not checked out Canadian Family Life and some of her grocery hauls, go over and check them out, and you're welcome, because you're going to learn so many cool things. Let's see here. Is Ginger going up there for you? Wins because she won a lot in bingo today. Oh my, she won bingo today. Ooh, you'll have to share that in the chat what she won. And then Tiffany, and then hi. And then, okay, Glenda, what food are your favorite foods? Well, let's just keep it real. Chocolate, all things chocolate, but I'm staying away from that right now. Right now, I'm craving chocolate custard from Culver's. Oh, so good, so good. But if I'm going to stay healthy wise, I make a chicken pasta with, I use the protein pasta, and it is so good. It's chicken bacon ranch, and it's a super healthy recipe, high in protein, low in carb, believe it or not, because I'm using the carb protein. There is a white sauce with it. All I do is I blend up cottage cheese. And if you put it in a blender, it actually makes a white sauce. So I'll add in a little bit of ranch seasoning and some, ranch seasoning. Oh, and Parmesan. I use freeze-dried Parmesan because it gives it a little bit of a nutty flavor. But you can just use plain Parmesan if you don't have freeze-dried. And then I put a little bit of bacon in it, and then just then I'll pour that over like right at the end, and it makes a really good white sauce. In fact, you can do that with so many different things with cottage cheese, to increase your proteins if that's something that you want to do and kind of sneak it in. Alfredos are really good that way. It's just a really cool alternative, especially if somebody hates cottage cheese, but you just want to beef up what you've got. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to try. Let's see here. Since you're here, Joey, have Ginger grab me some seeds, please, and thank you. And then let's see here. Only here for a few, getting ready to eat supper. Homemade potato soup is on the menu tonight. Girl, I love me some homemade potato soup. It's one of my favorites. There's a recipe from a restaurant that's no longer in business that I have, and it's for a homemade potato soup that they used to sell, and they sold their cookbook. So I bought it because at the time I wasn't living in the area, and man, that potato soup is so good. It's off the charts good. I wish I could, but my back just won't let me. You know what? The best thing you can do, keep moving. Don't sit still. Keep moving. That's the best thing you can do. My mother does this silver sneakers class. I meet up with her twice a week. And let me just say, I sat in on it on Monday. So I went in, I did my normal workout. And then my trainer was leading the silver sneakers class. And he saw me. He said, "Hey, why don't you join your mom?" And I went, "Okay, maybe, but I have to finish my workout first." So I finished it up, and then I slid right in for that silver sneakers class. And let me just say, there's a lot of fundamentals that they do that I think are super wise. Some band, like the elastic band training, they'll put it like on the back of their chair, and then you just hold on, and then you can like doing crunches in your seat. They do a lot of stand up, sit down exercise and go on your tippy toes. And then they do a lot of light weights. So one of the things that shocked my trainer, because he didn't think I could do over the head weights. And he said, "Get the 5 pounds." And I actually could do his fundamentals with some of because I had shoulder surgery. So some of that I could do, but I'll tell you what, keep moving. That's the only thing. When you stop and you sit and you do nothing, that's when problems set in. And I mean, that's my only advice. Walking's amazing. Just put your shoes on, go for a walk. Best thing. Let me see here. Oh, Jake is here. Hey, Jake. Hey, Jake. Thank you for coming in. And then Joey, he really wants some seeds. I mean, big time, big time. And I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking, Jake. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. They were playing bingo at Pinecone Fest. I saw her get a hat. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and watch. It's just been one of those busy days today, and I've got to play some catch up on a lot of videos. A lot. See here. I couldn't really see what else she got. Okay, well, maybe hopefully he answered it, and I've got to come down the list, and I'll see if I can find it. And then hello to y'all. So she's saying hi to everybody. I don't know if you're on your phone. Sometimes it's hard to tag people on the phone. Let's see here. You're going to Carlene's place for dinner? I think I'll join you. Well, I'll head over to Carlene's. Because potato soup, that sounds so good. Let's see here. We just had our family Thanksgiving meal. Oh, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving to all of my Canadian family, or family, as I like to say. You are family too. I hope you have had a wonderful day, and I hope you have lots of turkey and turkey leftovers. I'm looking forward to our Thanksgiving. Leftovers are the best. You make turkey pie, turkey soup, turkey sandwiches. Yeah, best day. So I hope you have enjoyed it, but most importantly, spent time with your family. I really think that that's a big thing, and the friends, because sometimes, those really good friends, they're family too. So I hope you've had a wonderful day. Silver sneakers is great. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Let's see. Veggie protein pasta with white sauce, a little ranch, and cottage cheese and bacon and chicken sounds really good. It's really good, but the key to this recipe is blend the cottage cheese. Like completely, it'll look like a white sauce. And it's kind of thick, on the thicker side, but it's not a thickening agent. I want to kind of warn you on that one. So if you need to thicken up something, you might need to add a little bit of cornstarch and some water to thicken it up. But it looks a little bit on the thicker side. And I just pour that in like right at the end. I don't want to cook it. You just kind of want to just like let the pasta noodles heat that all up. And then it's perfect. And then I'll take it because it's, we just make a bunch of meals, and then I'll make extras. So that way leftovers are great the next day, or even for a few days. But chicken, bacon, ranch pasta is amazing. It's one of my favorites. Heading home now. Have a good night, y'all. You have a wonderful night. And then Aunt Lynn is on her way over to Carlene's. My goodness, Carlene, I hope your table's big enough. We're all headed over to your house. And then happy Thanksgiving, Tiffany, from Aunt Lynn. I hope seriously, lots of good leftovers and yummy things. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because I haven't had time to sit down and do the official final video for hashtag Survival Seeds 2024. I've been in this amazing collab that is hosted by the Vineyard Chicks. They are 3 young ladies who even I've learned from. I'm a kind of an older gardener, I guess. Not an old gardener, but I've been gardening for well over a decade now. And yeah, I learned from so many newbies and I love it. And the girls are so wise beyond their years. And so they have been the main host for this collab. Also Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. And then Bushcraft Family has also been a part of this. It has just been extraordinary. It's bringing community together. And it's not just in one country. It's many countries that have gotten involved. And that's the beauty of this collab. So tomorrow we're ripping the garden out. We're saying goodbye to it. There are some green tomatoes still out there, some that are kind of starting to ripen. So we'll bring all those in. The ones that are ripening, we'll go ahead and let them finish up in the house, and then that'll be it. As far as the green tomatoes, we're going to turn them into green salsa, and I'll be using those for enchiladas or just green salsa, whatever. It's so good on top of eggs as well. So I'll be using that up. We are expecting our first frost next week. So I've got to get out there and just go ahead and harvest the rest off and be done with it. We have some peppers out there still. So I do not plan on overwintering the pepper plants. They are a perennial in some zones. We are in 7A where we're at, and they will not overwinter here. I hate saying that we're 7A. That just got bumped up, but I still grow on a 6B schedule, which means for us that our summer crops can go into the ground on the weekend. I always say it's Kentucky Derby weekend, because whenever the Kentucky Derby comes, you can look 10 days ahead, and as long as you don't have frost, you're guaranteed to go. If you plant it before the Kentucky Derby, you're taking a chance. And that's on a 6B grow zone. So yeah, so that is something that I love gardening. But this year I went ahead and I saved my seeds for some of the plants. These are the pinto beans, and they're just sitting in the jar. I was hoping to have more than this. I'll probably take these out of the jar and put them in something smaller. But I plan on next year growing pinto beans. Let me just show you. So there's more still in here. I think I only had 5 plants, and I didn't, no, wait a minute. Did I have 5 or did I have, yeah, I had 5, and then one of them died. So I didn't get a ton of seeds. We didn't eat the pinto beans. Everything I harvested, I let them go all the way until the pods were completely dried out, and then just peeled back the pods and took the seeds out. And I'm saving them for next year. I did try to grow a few in the ground. Unfortunately, they are up, but we're getting ready to have that first frost. So I'll just save the rest for next year. So that is my pinto beans. And then I also saved my peppercini peppers. So these are those seeds right there. They are so delicious. With the fruit, I actually went ahead and I just chopped it up. I washed it and chopped it up, threw it in the freezer. And then we pull it out whenever I make kielbasa or, I don't know, pizza, whatnot. I'll pull them out, and then I've been putting them on, on our pizzas. So I saved the seeds for that. The butternut squash was the first year that I have ever been able to successfully grow. I didn't save any seeds from there. And I think I want to try it again next year, so I'll have to get some seeds. But I went ahead and I cut up all of the butternut squash, and it's in my freezer chopped. And then I'm going to be using it on a baking sheet. You just put a little olive oil and salt and pepper, and then 425 oven, and then I'll cook them till they're done and have that as a side dish. So that's what I'll be doing with the butternut squash that I grew. And then the last thing that I saved that I had success with is the Mariana tomatoes, and there are some seeds for next year. This is my first year that I've ever saved a hybrid seed. There's nothing wrong with hybrids. Let me dismiss that. For new gardeners, it is not the same as GMO seeds. Hybrid just means that they took one heirloom tomato plant and another heirloom tomato plant, and they made a baby. Okay, that's all it is. It's a hybrid. They're looking for certain characteristics. So with that said, I have no idea what kind of tomatoes I'm going to get next year. I will not be getting, more than likely, true to the Mariana tomato. It'll probably be one of the parent companies or parent, sorry, not companies, but parent plants, or it'll be some kind of a mix that I've never seen. But you know what? It is food, and I'm all about trying new things. So this will be my new item for next year to see what happens with Mariana seeds. So stay tuned for next year. That's not the only seed I saved. I talked about my favorite yellow and red tomato, and I have no idea what variety it is. Since 2020, I've had this tomato, an heirloom tomato. I have no idea what it was. I can't remember, but I have always saved the seeds. And yep, there are my seeds for next year. And as you can see, it says favorite yellow red tomato 2024 on there. So I'll have seeds for that next year. This tomato is my absolute favorite to put on a BLT. The best. So I have to have those seeds. So yeah, I have no idea. I do that with garlic too. I have no idea what variety of garlic I have. I will be planting my sixth season of garlic from the original tuber, or the original bulbs that many years ago, 6 years ago. So sometimes you just save them, and it's just really good and you just like it. So that's what I'm going to do. But I would love to do this again next year. I hope the girls are going to consider it. Personally, I think if we were to add a vegetable into this mix, I would add in either spinach, especially for the northern climates. Not the freezing cold, because I'm not sure about that, but spinach likes colder season. Amaranth is the other one, and they like the hot season, but it tastes like spinach. So that would be what I would add to that. In my area, I'm a 7A, but it's really a 6B in my opinion, but I can grow both successfully. I typically put the spinach seeds in the ground in the spring and in the fall, and then during the summer, I grow amaranth. So that way I always have something spinach or spinach-like. And I like to put that in different dishes. And then I also freeze dry it too, so I can eat it through the winter. But that would be my only thing. So that's my finale on the 2024 season. If you were in this collab, let me know, and let me know what was your thoughts on the Mariana tomatoes and the pepperoncinis, or what was your favorite one? I'm curious. I'd like to know. Of course, I don't want to take away from your final video, so leave that for that element, but just kind of give me an idea what you thought. I actually really enjoyed it. Butternut squash. That was the first year I ever grew that successfully. I don't know what I've done differently, because I got to figure this out, because I want to do it again next year. But I will say, on a weird note, I tried growing watermelon, which was not part of the collab, and I grow it every year. I got one, and it was rotten, and I don't know what in the world happened with that. Normally I get huge watermelons, and I'm begging the neighbors to take some. This year, no watermelons for us. In fact, I didn't even purchase one this year. So is what it is, right? Okay, let me go back to the chat. I'm going to see what I missed. Let's see here. Oh, so Carlene said the house and table are small, but everyone is welcome. We'll eat in shifts. LOL. Yeah, or we can all sit on your lawn in picnic style and have a warm bowl of potato soup, and then you don't have to, maybe in paper bowls, so you don't have to clean it. We'll just eat outside and the mess can stay outside. But oh my goodness, I bet it is so good. I'm just saying, that just sounds so good. And then yes, so kind of going in to what I was talking about with our grow zone. And when I plant, I don't know, Carlene, are you the same way? Do you plant your, if you garden, do you plant the first Saturday in May along with the Kentucky Derby? That just, for me in this area, that is the way to go. One year, Sir Grace and I thought we would take a chance, and we put all of our tomatoes out, and I had started them all from seed. I want to say it was the 2021 growing season. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it was. And we had this weird snap that was coming like right after the Kentucky Derby. So Sir Grace and I went out and we dug up every single one of our tomatoes and put them in big pots and because I had spent all this time working on trying to grow these tomatoes. So we put them in the pots and then we brought them into the garage and we waited 2 days. That's the max because they did not get any sunlight. And then we put them back outside, and then I checked the radar again, and it was a go. We put them back in the ground. My neighbor, on the other hand, I told him that I think he needs to dig them up because there was going to be a gust of wind with this cold snap that we were having, and rain, and we're talking freezing weather. And he went to the Dollar Tree and bought like 40 buckets. I mean, like, anyhow, I thought that's just a lot of money to spend on tomato plants, but there's that. So he went out and he put a black bucket, like the mopping bucket, over each of the tomatoes. Well, don't you know, the wind came through. There was buckets all over my subdivision, and all of his tomatoes died. And then Sir Grace and I are out there a few days later replanting all the tomatoes, and he had to go buy them again. So we really do follow that Kentucky Derby schedule to the T now. Again, I've been gardening since 2012, but I'm very adamant on that one. Wait till that day and then check the 10-day forecast. And as long as you don't get a freeze, you're good to go. Oh, hey, honey. So sorry, working in the garage. I'm just lurking. So he's saying hi to each and every single one of you. Seeds. Yep, I love seeds. And then Xander said, hi, Darkload. Hi, Sir Grace from Xander. And let's see here. I wasn't in the collaboration, but could you tell me where I can get garlic so I can get a plan in this year or get them in the ground? Okay, so there's some options that you have. You can order them online from different companies like M.I. Gardener or Baker Creek. I think I got mine from Baker Creek, but again, this was 6 years ago. The other option that you have, and I have done this before, if you go to a grocery store that sells organic foods and only, like a Whole Foods or something along that line, or maybe even just like we have small whole like a natural store and they sell organic produce only, then you could get your garlic bulbs from there and use those. And you're just taking a chance for your grow zone. And I think it would work for you. And you could plant them in the ground. If you buy them straight from the grocery store, it's a 50-50 shot if they will grow, because they do spray them heavily in the grocery store. So that way they don't try to grow in the grocery store, that they just stay the bulbs. So you really want to get organic. So that would be my recommendation. And Teresa, if you can't do that, let me know. I might have a bulb that I could send you. I don't have a lot, but I might have a bulb I can send you. But try that first and see if you can find maybe something local. And then what I would do is get it in the ground by the end of November. I've been known to stick my hands in the dirt in December. And let me tell you, it hurts because it's cold. I have Raynaud's, so it's cold. But as long as you get it in the ground, you'll be fine. And it'll grow really well. That's what I do. Typically, mine is by the end of November. They say for our area, it should be October, but girl ain't got time. And I don't know. It's just the way I've done it. And then you love butternut squash. It is so good. It is absolutely good. Old Ways Gardening and Prepping is doing a seed swap. Teresa on the 19th. Go to her channel, get registered for it, and then tell her. You can tell her your seed swap partner what you want. I think that's a great idea. I love seed swaps. In my area, there is, we have, let's see, the county extension. Sometimes they'll have seed swaps, or somebody will use the building to do a seed swap. Churches do seed swaps. Definitely keep out for your local area. That's how I've gotten a lot of really cool seeds that have naturalized in our area, and I've had the most success with those seeds. But I'm not above buying seeds. In fact, I buy from Baker Creek and my gardener. I've done floret flowers, but they've gotten too expensive lately, so can't. But yeah, I think honestly, I love a good seed swap. And yep, that's a great idea. Yeah. I absolutely understand that. Okay. And then I spend less in seed swaps than I do buying seeds at the store. Yeah. And I'll be participating in some seed swaps as well. I don't ever send like garlic in the seed swap, because by the time every seed swap that I'm in, they have already, like the garlic's already in the ground, and it's too late to go ahead and do that in my area. Now, I hear you can put garlic in the ground in the spring, but here's the catch to that. Garlic needs to go through a cold period, and don't put the whole bulb in the ground. You want to take it and just get the clove, leave the paper on the clove, and then put that in the ground. But it takes a cold snap to break those into multiple cloves. So I just have never grown it in the spring. I don't know. Maybe they're stratifying the garlic, and maybe that's the way to do it. Personally, this girl don't got time to put it in a fridge. So let's see here. You've posted your final video for Survival Seeds 2024. Well, this is going to be my final, because I just haven't had a chance to sit down and film it. Yeah. So here, these are garlic seeds. My garlic gave me some seeds, so you can send those out too. They can be planted at any time. Xander, I have never grown garlic from seeds. That is really cool that you did that. So that means that your garlic had been in the ground for at least 2 years, which is like an onion, and you got the pretty little flower in your seeds. That's really cool. I've never tried that. I know it's possible. How long does it take to turn into a bulb? Is it another year or two? I'm curious on that one. I have never done that. So go ahead and tell me, how does that work? I just have done it from the clove, and then have just keep replanting. And let me tell you, I freeze dry it. So right now I have a bunch of garlic in my freezer. It has been peeled and separated and all that, and it's freezing. So they're about to go into freeze dryer camp and become garlic powder. That is the best garlic powder out there, hands down. I love freeze-dried garlic powder. It tastes different than what you can buy, like the regular garlic powder from the store. It just tastes fresher. I think it's gone through a different process. Let's see. first year I ever got seeds from them. It was interesting. I'll be planting the seeds this coming year. We'll find out. Alexander, would you do me a favor and document that? Because that would be something for me to learn. I'm sure I could go on the Google streaks or go into YouTube and find it, but I would rather watch, like, how did it work for you? That would be really cool. I tried growing strawberries from seeds. Yeah, not very successful. So I just do mine from the starts. So let's see here. We got so much garlic that year. I didn't plant any this year. Yeah, well, I mean, you need a lot of garlic for your family, which I think is awesome. And if you can get them up from seed, that would be really cool. I'm wondering, and this is just my guess, so this is my little thought process on it. If you're growing the garlic from seed and not a clove, I think it would take, my guess would be 2 years. Now, I very well could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not the expert in this because I've never done it. But if I had to guess, I would say 2 years. Yeah. I don't think you'd get a bulb on the first year. So if you need garlic, get you a bulb of garlics to kind of have some from, just to kind of keep you going while you're waiting on this to produce. That way you have your backup supply. That would be my recommendation. But I think that would be a fun experiment to see what happens for sure. I hope you document that. I genuinely do, because I'd love to learn. Let's see here. We'll see what happens. Yeah. That's the thing about gardening. It's not a one size fits all. And the thing that, I tell new gardeners is don't give up. There's so many things that can go wrong in a garden, but there's so many more positives that can go right. My example this year, I could not grow watermelon to save my life. And I've grown it every year prior. And will I give up? Nope. We'll do it again next year. It was an off year. It is what it is. Let's see here. I've got so much garlic in my yard. It comes up every year. Oh my goodness. That is so, so cool. Do you ever harvest it? That's awesome. Oh, we got backups like no tomorrow. We're Italian. I kind of wondered if you did. If we don't have garlic, we might as well kick the bucket. Well, let's not kick the bucket. Make sure you've got plenty of garden, And this is it. Ding, ding. We all live over what we can learn. Yes. Yeah, we live over what we can learn. And the thing is that I learned from so many different people. Gardening for me was just started just because I needed something for myself. Being a caregiver for your loved one. I'm a family caregiver. I'm not a paid caregiver. So I'm a family caregiver. You get lost and you feel like, this is it. And you need an outlet. I lost a lot of friends when I first became a caregiver. So a lot of it had to do with the move back to our family, which I gained my family. Y'all are awesome, by the way, my family. But, there was a loneliness to it and an identity, you lose who you are. And for me, I decided, well, I've always wanted to try gardening. I tried it when my husband was in the military. I killed everything. I killed it all. But when I moved here, I got a 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's. It wasn't food grade. Okay. You live and you learn, but keeping it honest, keeping it real. It was the blue bucket. And I drilled my holes at the bottom and I successfully grew a cherry tomato. Of course, now, if I had to rewind, I could go back to talk to Glenda from back in the day. I would say get the white food grade buckets, and you can go to bakeries and you can find them. They'll sell them to you for like $1 or whatnot. So you don't have to spend a lot if that's all you can grow in is a 5-gallon bucket. But from there it exploded, and that was the best cherry tomatoes. And then I decided, I bought starts, and then I kept adding more, and I was buying starts. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to try this from seed. And so I bought all the lights and all the equipment. And now I grow from seeds successfully. And I'm often begging people, please take plants. Otherwise, I just get rid of them because I do too much. But it's really easy, but you don't have to do it all at once with gardening. Don't feel like you have to know everything. Get to know your area and the way that your environment plays into this with your ground soil. You know, how much rain are you getting? Do you have to supplement water? Do you need to amend your soil? There's just a lot of factors. Get to know it, but never give up. Sometimes, especially if you're growing in grow bags or in containers, a lot of the times when plants die, it's because the soil that you just bought from the store, the potting mix, is high in nitrogen and it's killing your plants. It's not a you problem. It's just the fact that your potting mix hadn't really fully broken down. So if you use that mix the following year and just add a little bit of fertilizer, just a tiny bit, not a much, I pretty well bet that you'll have success the following year. So yeah, that I say never give up, keep trying. Let's see here. You didn't kill him yet. I missed what that was. Let's see here. And you eat it every year? Yeah, for sure. For sure. So yeah, so that, you know, and then I'm just trying to think, you know, when we went through the shutdown, we all went through that. I had so much food that I had passed it out to people. I learned to can, again, not out of necessity. I started with strawberry jam. That was actually before I started gardening, with strawberry jam. I learned the basics. I taught myself to do it. And then during the shutdown, when the grocery stores, you know, were having their problems, I was able to pass that out and say, hey, I've got salsa, or I've got soup, or, you know, whatever. I've got it on my shelves. And especially my kids shopped. My oldest, big time. Her husband, one time, she was looking at my daughter and she was shopping off the pantry, which everything I was canning. And I love it. It doesn't bother me. But her husband goes, we don't need to go grocery shopping. We just come over and visit you. And she's taking crates home of food. And I'm like, that's right. I'm saving you some money, but you have to bring back the jars. The jars are not yours. So that's my big thing, as Aunt Lynn will tell you. If you take any food from me, you must bring me back the jar, because that's the biggest investment. Not just the time, but the jars. So I reuse everything and I just sterilize it and off we go. So in fact, tomorrow probably will be a canning afternoon for me with all that tomato salsa. The tomatoes, I'm going to be making that salsa. I don't have a whole lot of peppers, so I'll probably just freeze the rest that's in there. And this is the truth. I will hunt you down for the jars. So I also freeze dry a lot of fruit, and we have a little one in the family, and I typically will fill that like a half gallon filled with freeze dried apples or strawberries and send it home for the little one. Well, I have to kind of remind the parents, you know, like, I want my jars back. So they're fine about bringing them back, but yeah. And then you're good about bringing the jars back. So is Mom. Your salsa and everything is so good. Yeah. This year I will not be canning any regular salsa. I still have so much from last year that we're still working through. So no salsa this year. Some years I just take off and I just give myself grace, and because I have so much on the pantry, why do you want to keep adding more when you need to kind of work through it? But I will be adding the green salsa, which I'm completely out. And then the other thing, I have all these bags of tomatoes in my freezer. So I will be cooking it down. Xander, I will be making spaghetti sauce with it. I need to restock that. So typically I like to do that in the winter. because I don't like making my house hot, and you turn the heat on anyhow, and then the steam from the canners add a little bit of humidity back into the air. So, so I'll be making that this winter. It sounds delicious. Yeah, it's really good. So my oldest loves the the new recipe for spaghetti sauce, and I get it from the Ball canning books. It's nothing that I've come up with or anything. Um, Trying to think. I think I add a little bit of wine to it, and I want to say red wine vinegar too, or something. No, balsamic vinegar to it as well, and it adds a really unique depth to it. Um, and that's just from the Ball book. It's nothing fancy. Well, it is. And I have learned that I do not like store bought sauce at all. I just, no, thank you. I love my own. I know what went into it. I know, the conditions that I grew it in. Plus, I know that it's going to taste good. And then if sometimes, I know like a recipe will say to add certain ingredients, and I like to add other things. So with the sauce, I'll sometimes I add a little extra basil at the last minute. I freeze dry the basil, so I'll add it into my sauce as I'm cooking, not as I'm canning, but as I'm cooking, I'll add things to it, and it just bumps the flavor up even more. And it is so good. But yeah, I love it. But this year I just really didn't can a ton. I did buy a new pressure canner. I did recently see that it was approved somewhere. It's the National blah, blah, blah canning people. And I'm drawing a blank, so I'm sorry. It's just been one of those days. But anyhow, I will be canning up some ugly chicken, which is super easy to do. All you do is you cut up chicken into 1-inch pieces, throw it in a jar. Like, your jars have to be clean and sterilized, obviously, but you just put it in the jar, push the air out, leave 1.5 inches of headspace, and process it. And it makes the best chicken salad. It makes the best, like making enchiladas if I just need to quickly get something made. It's called Ugly Chicken, and boy, it absolutely looks hideous. But let me tell you, it makes its own broth, and that broth is so good. And if I'm making like a soup or something with it, I'll pour the whole thing in with that broth, because that broth is off the charts. Let's see here. You love your ugly chicken? Yeah, it is, like, honestly the best. Teresa, do you ever pressure can a hamburger, cooked hamburger, and then add a little bit of broth to it? I have to say that's my other favorite thing. Honestly, it's the meats. I think is my favorite to can. So easy to do. Yeah, it tastes better, and it makes life so much easier. Taco night. Let me just say, taco night is like awesome. You just get that that jar of cooked hamburger, and then I will take there sometimes is a little bit of fat on the top, and so I'll take the fat out and then just plop it down in the pan and warm it up, and it's ready for tacos. Honestly, like within 5 minutes I can have dinner out. Typically, the longest part of taco night is chopping the lettuce and tomatoes and shredding the cheese. That's the longest part. But when you have that cooked hamburger on your shelf, 5 minutes, you're just warming it up, and that could be done. Oh, you haven't tried it? That's next. Yeah, definitely check it out. I go ahead and I cook mine first. I brown it, and then I'll top it with a little beef broth on top of it, or bone broth. And because it doesn't make its broth, I want to say that it won't, but it makes some of the best hamburger out there. And then, or if you want to make sloppy joes, that's another one. After a long day, let's keep it real. Some of us, by the end of the night, we don't want to cook, right? So you come home and this stuff is kind of done for you ahead of time, and it's easy. You just kind of pop it off, and it's still homemade because you did it, and it is equally as delicious, if not better. So I highly encourage you to give that one a shot and see what you think if you like hamburger. And the other thing, the tip with that is get a very low fat hamburger. I would go like a 90-10 or even a 96-4. I personally buy the 96-4 because I'm adding broth to it, so that'll help keep it from drying out. And yeah, it is so good that way. Absolutely. It is my favorite by far. And then right now we have our freeze dryer going. We're getting ready to do some marshmallows for the puppers. It was an internal medicine doctor that told us that you could give marshmallows to a dog, that they're an allergy-free treat. It's not a meal, it's just a treat. So we're freeze drying it so that way there's a little bit of a crunch to it. And then Sir Grace carries them when he's on duty, when the dog's on duty, and then gives them a little treat to say thank you. And of course, he loves the freeze dried. So it's over $5 a pound. Yeah, I know. The other thing you could do is just rinse it off, rinse the fat off if it's that high. And just the only reason why I say that is because the fat, when you pressure can it, like your jar will be like up to here in fat if you don't. I mean, if you're okay with it, then that's fine. But they tell you to get a low fat hamburger. So, and that's what I've done. I get mine. Let's see here. Where did I get the last round? I think I got that from someone local, if I'm not mistaken. That's where I got it from. But, and it was low fat and it was really good. And then I also sometimes take like a little paper towel and I'll dab up some of the extra just to make sure to kind of get some of that out before I process it. But it's not the end of the world, you know, if it's hot, you know, if you got fat at the top of it, it's not the end of the world. Really, all you have to do is scoop it out. Let's see here. Okay, sorry, you guys missed my potato soup topped with cheddar cheese, bacon, because it was delicious. Girl, I'm just saying that potato soup sounds off the charts. It just, man, maybe that's what I need to make this week. We're going to have a cool snap. Might see if I can find like a recipe, like a high protein recipe version of that and give it a shot. Cause man, it just, there's something about a good bowl of potato soup on a cold night. You can't eat high fat. Yeah. Or does, for my situation, high fat doesn't agree with me. It doesn't like me. It's not that I don't like it. It don't like me. I think that's why I don't care for Chinese food either. I can't stand it because it doesn't like me. We don't get along. We're not friends. So now Japanese food, totally a different thing. Totally different. It's more vegetable based, low fat, super healthy. If you get I have actually on the channel, there's a yakisoba recipe that I make, and I shared it on the channel in a collab. And then I make gyoza, which is like pot stickers. A lot of people know what pot stickers are, but gyoza is the Japanese version. And many years ago, I used to teach English in my home when I lived in Japan. And one of the things that I learned, because they taught me, was how to make yakisoba and gyoza. And it is so easy and so delicious. But I had to translate in English, like these are carrots. You know, we say carrots, you know, and how to say that correctly, or this is cabbage, you know, different things. So it was kind of like a win-win. And I felt bad that she was paying me, but we ate together. So your 80-20 I can do, but I have to find 90-10 for can. You don't have to. You can always just rinse off the fat if you have to, or take some paper towels and soak it up. That might help if it helps with your budget, and it'll still work. I don't see why not. Let's see here. Glenda, have you used your electric canner yet? No, it's still in the box. I'm keeping it real. I bought it. A lot of it just has to do with there's been a lot happening in my life lately. We did say goodbye to a friend, graduated on to heaven. I'm just keeping it real. He graduated to heaven, and I have been off and on helping out with some of they have some animals, so I've been helping out. In fact, I'm helping out tonight. So, but I love helping those animals. They're sweet. Helping out with the animals, I should say. It's spoiled land. They have a farm, and each and every single animal up there is spoiled rotten. They often adopt animals that people don't want. And so I love going up there. And so anyhow, so I just haven't had time to sit down and do the things that I want to do. Plus, I'm also sewing. So I've been doing that too. I have to be honest. And I need to sit down and pull that thing out and play with it because it looks like it's a lot of fun. Do you have an electric pressure canner, Carlene? Now I have, and I've used I've actually replaced it now because I broke the first one, an electric water bath canner. And I absolutely love that thing. It sits right next to my kitchen sink. And I love it because you can take we have a long faucet, with the hose. And I can take that and put it straight over the pot, flip the water on, and it fills straight up on the pot. I don't have to pick it up. I don't have to move it. And then I turn the water off, no mess, easy filling up. And then when I'm done with it, I let it cool all the way down. And there's a spout. And all I have to do is flip the spout and the water goes straight in the sink. No problem, no mess, no fuss. Don't have to pick it up. My favorite canning pot. It is. Let's see here. If I can't find my PC in storage building, I'm going to order one. Okay, so you're going to see if you can find it in your pressure canner in storage. Yeah, I just bought my very first one. I was watching around the hay bale, and they were talking about it. And I thought, you know what? Let me just check it out. Let me see. And the price wasn't too terribly high. I want to say it was like $80. So I don't think that's too bad. An all-American pressure canner is a couple $100 easily and up. So in comparison, it is on the cheaper end. Now, can you do as many jars? No. I will always love my all-American pressure canner. I got it as a gift. I will always love it. It'll always be my favorite. But I have a new stove, and I'm not exactly sure if I can put that pressure canner on it. I haven't had time to sit down and look over the manual. But either way, I've got an electric one, and that'll do me good, right? It'll do good. So hopefully you can find it. If not, order one for sure. They had some on Amazon. Something to definitely check out. All right, you guys. Well, I am going to hop off of here. I just want to say thank you so much to each and every single one of you. Don't forget tonight that the Gillums are going live. I think they are. Xander, can you check on that real quick for me and let me know if the Gillums have their live posted? I know that they're at the meetup. Let's see. You can always call the maker of the stove and ask them. Yep. Yeah, definitely. And then make sure it's, yeah. I had my last glass top. It was fine. I had no problems with my glass top, and I checked with the manufacturer. Everything was fine. I know that it's controversial. That's not the reason that we replaced the stove. It was because the oven was trying to catch on fire. So yeah. So I haven't seen anything set up on their channel, but it's most likely because they're at Pinecone Fest. Well, keep an eye out, you guys. And if they do go live, please say hi to them and watch them, and whoever else might be going live at Pinecone Fest. I know I've got to play catch up myself, but anyhow, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Be kind to somebody. You just don't know what somebody's going through. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.